how to turn £50,000 into 5 million property investment portfolio in 5 years. Hey guys, it's Rahim. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, smash the subscribe button because I talk about property investment, personal development, and how to gain financial freedom. So if you've got £50,000 and you really want to invest it and make that £5 million, this video is for you. But perhaps you might not have the £50,000 right now, but you're about to raise it, or you've got family members that can trust you with that £50,000, this video is for you. Even if you don't have the £50,000, perhaps this video would inspire you to raise that £50,000 to build a £5 million property investment portfolio. So you may be thinking, whoa, where did this guy come from for him to share this? For those who don't know me, my name is Rahim Bah. I started my property investment journey just a few years ago. I was in a job where I was undervalued, underappreciated, going nowhere. I started by renting properties out from landlords, and I subsequently rent these properties out on a room by room basis as well as on a nightly basis. So the profit I made from those properties, I use and start buying my own investment properties. So I was able to build those investment properties into a multi-million pound property investment portfolio. I now have my estate agency, my renovation company, and I now help professionals like yourselves to use property as a vehicle to make passive recurring income and ultimately become a property millionaire. So perhaps that then gives me the right to share what I'm just about to share with you, how you can make your money work a lot harder for you. And what I'm about to share with you is really and truly what I've used to start my property investment journey and what I've worked with investors to do to build their property portfolio into a multi-million pound property investment portfolio. If you understand this concept and you apply it, it's most likely to give you serious return on your investment. So suppose we got the £50,000, we've raised it, congratulations, well done, you've done absolutely amazing. The first thing once we've got that £50,000 is to set that goal, aren't we? To get the £5 million goal. If you want to write it somewhere in your wall, somewhere in your bathroom, bedroom, wherever you want to write it, write that £5 million somewhere so you can see it, you can feel it, you can visualize it. Whatever you do, make sure you see it inside yourself, inside your mind's eye, because it would help you achieve that figure. So in this example, our goal will be £5 million with that £50,000. With £50,000 initial investment, we want to look for places where our money work a lot harder for us with bare minimum initial investment. We don't want to be looking at places like London, for example. London is way too expensive. Our £50,000 will not even buy a bedroom in London. Here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to start checking from the Midlands, West Midlands, all the way to the north of England, and perhaps we can go around South Wales. So these are the areas where you can get your 50,000 to work a lot harder for you. So let's pick a city. Let's suppose we want to invest in Newcastle, and Newcastle is our city, and that's the city we want to be investing in. So what we would want to do is to look for properties around the city center, a very nice catchment area, a property that we know we'll be able to rent for a better return our investment, ensuring it's very close to a train station, supermarket, goods co, all these little things needs to be around that property. Most importantly, very close to a traveling. It could be bus stop, it could be train station, it could be tram stop, whatever that may be for you. And that property needs to be within the radius that would allow us to have access to these public amenities. Let's say we went on the market, right? We use Rightmove. We saw a property worth £100,000. It's kind of a 3-bedroom house, 2 reception rooms, and we then know it's got a kitchen, dining area, and there's a potential to do something with that property. Perhaps that property, if we buy it, with a little liquor paint, maybe changing the doors and all that sort of thing, would allow us to change the use of that property from an actual residential home where a family lives to maybe a HMO property. What is HMO property? HMO properties are house in multiple occupation, are properties that investors will rent per room instead of renting the whole property to a family. So if you want to hit that 5 million bracket, these are the sort of properties we're going to look for, not just because they go up in value significantly, it's because it gives us also a very handsome profit. Let's say we went on the market, we secured this £100,000 property for £80,000. Okay, so with £80,000 property, we'd require to put a deposit of 25% in order for the bank to lend us the 75% of the £80,000. So the 25% would be 20 £60,000. Okay, so we'll put this money down in order for the bank to lend us the £60,000. Let's say our purchase cost is about £5,000. Okay, let's say we use the £5,000 for legal and administration cost, and the remaining £25,000, we use that remaining £25,000 to upgrade the property to be able to rent it as a HMO property. Perhaps we will require fire alarms, smoke alarms, heat alarms, fire doors, and all the rest of it to make the property compliant. And obviously we're converting the 2 reception rooms into 2 bedrooms as well. And then we've got this kitchen dining area that they can use as their common room. Let's say we spend that £25,000 to do that. So that then takes our investment to our £50,000. Okay, so fast forward to maybe a couple of months or maybe a few weeks, you get to do that, because obviously you're not doing any structural work that do not allow us to do so much craziness in it. Here's the thing, it is important for us to look for properties that doesn't require structural work, because obviously it's 2 reception rooms, assuming each of the reception got windows, and we've got a 3-bedroom upstairs, maybe another bathroom downstairs. In essence, we just need to go and upgrade it to make it compliant as a HMO property. So fast forward to doing all that work, that property then, because we've done all that work, we've changed the use of the property, that property will be valued based on a commercial basis, because obviously looking at the income each room would make rather than valuing it on a brick and mortar. Let's just go for that then. Let's say that property, after we've done all that work in about a few weeks or so, our property came back at £150,000. So that then means the fair market value of that property, after doing all the works here, has pushed the value of the property from £80,000 to £150,000. So with that £150,000, obviously before that amount get valued, the valuation officer will come around, look at the property, and show what we've done. It's amazing, and obviously we've upgraded the property. They can then come and value that property at £150,000. At that £150,000, the bank will lend us 75% of the £150,000, which would be £112,500. So the bank will lend us that money, that £112,500. That money then goes to your solicitor's account. So from that money then, your solicitor will look first for your existing loan. They'll be like, okay, you've bought this property for £80,000, but did you buy it outright, or you use a bridging, or you use a mortgage to buy that property? So what the solicitor will do at that point, they will then deduct the 60% from that amount there, and the 60% from that amount would be £60,000. So that is the first amount the solicitor will deduct from that. So once the solicitor deducts that amount, they pay you the remaining balance. From that remaining balance, then we're going to deduct our initial investment. So our initial investment, we all know, was £50,000. Okay, so we got to pay ourselves that money first, and then obviously we would have paid interest on the £60,000 because we've borrowed that £60,000 in order to be able to do the property up and remortgage it to this value we are at here. And then assuming that amount was £2,500. So if you minus the 50,000, 2,500 and 60,000 pounds, that would sum up to 0 amount left over. So what does this mean? What this means is that basically we have bought a property for £80,000, right? We've renovated it and added value to it. We have changed the use of the property from a family home to a house in multiple occupation. In essence, we have forced the value to £150,000. So in that case then, the bank would have lent us that $112,500, which then means we've got bigger loan amount that allows us to pay ourselves off, pay the interest on that mortgage, as well as pay the £60,000 that we owed the initial lender, and we left with nothing. Meaning we've bought the property, we own it now, and we did not leave any of our £50,000 in that property. Meaning we've recycled all our money out, and then we can use that same money to go again and target this 5 million here. So we've done the first property, hoping that you know what you're doing. It takes you a couple of months or so, we go again and get another property because we still got our £50,000. But the beauty of doing is also you'd have got a property that you're renting that will be making a minimum of £800 per calendar month net profit if you were to do it as HMO, and that's the average. Some people are making way more than that. Let's just stick to the £800 every single month. So we've got our 5 million target. We've done the first one. This may be a bit hippie and bumpy, obstacles along the way because it's our first one, but assuming that we've learned from our mistake, we can then use the same £50,000. We go and buy the same sort of property. In essence, we repeat the process again. But this time round, the process will be a little bit quicker because we've done it previously. We've got more experience. So let's look at then how many properties do we need to get in order to hit that £5 million. So what we could do, we can divide the £5 million by £150,000. Okay, because that's what we would need to divide it by to know the number of houses we would need in the next 5 years to have a £5 million property investment portfolio. So that will give us 33.33 houses. So obviously we're not going to have 33.33 houses. Let's just round that up to 34 houses. So now we know in the next 5 years we need to have at least 34 houses in order to be able to have a £5 million property investment portfolio. So we're going to break it down now also. So if we've got 34 houses and we divide that by 12, it means we need to be able to buy 7 houses every single year. Bear with me here. You'll be thinking, this is crazy. How can I buy and renovate 7 houses a year? You can absolutely smash it. The first year, you might not hit that 7 houses because you're just starting up. But as you go along during that year, if you're really clever and you're really smart and you really want to work and you've got a massive why behind you, you may be able to get minimum of 3 houses. This is worst case scenario. 3 houses because you're not selling them. You don't have to sit down and wait until the property sells before you go and buy another one. You can literally do it within 3 months. You remortgage, you go again and do the same thing. So if you divide actually 3 months into 12 months, you're likely to be able to do 4 houses. But let's just stick to 3 houses. So you've done 3 houses there. Okay, so you've got those 3 houses in your first year. So obviously you have a deficit of 4 houses. Am I making sense? Fantastic. So, oh, sorry for interrupting this video. I just wanted to draw your attention to a guide I've just created. This guide is for you if you're looking to start and scale in property investment and you've got questions that you want to ask in order to start your property investment. This guide is the ultimate guide to start and scale in property investment journey. I talk about the different type of investment strategies. I also discuss the 11 ways you can raise finance to make any property no money down deals and the type of properties to buy in order to generate a serious return in your investment. And I'm giving this book away for completely free of charge, no string attached, nothing, absolutely free. Click the link on the description of this video to get your free guide now. We've only got a limited number of these copies available as well, so click the link to get your guide now. Let's get back to our video. Suppose you've got those 3 houses and then the next year now you've got momentum, aren't you? So you are in your second year. You will not just be able to buy maybe 5 more houses. You'd also be able to actually use the same money to buy those 5 houses as well as the other 3 properties you would have done would have due for a remortgage. So what does that mean? If you're clever, you would have taken a fixed interest of 2 years that would allow you to renew your mortgage in every couple of years so you can pull any capital appreciation within that portfolio of properties you've bought. Assuming you've got those, let's say you've got those 3 properties, each one was worth £150,000. So if you do £150,000 times these 3 houses, that would have mean we have £450,000 property portfolio. Assuming that property went up by only 10% for the past 2 years, because we are in our second year, so that property would have worth, if we say 10%, times 2 years, that would have mean our property portfolio would have gone up to £544,000 in those 2 years. So obviously if you go again and remortgage that property, the bank will lend us 75% of that amount. So 75% of that amount is actually £408,000. So obviously we've got 75% here for when we bought those 3 properties. 75% of the £450,000, which is our existing loan, was £337,000. So obviously you use the new borrowing, you minus that, that gives us about £70,000. So all we do then, we add that £70,000 plus our £50,000. We go again to buy more houses. We got 1 house, 2 house, 3 house, and so on. By year 5, we would have got these 34 houses. So with those 34 houses, if each house is making us about £800 net profit, okay, we times that by 12, we would also be generating a net profit of £326,000 every single year. Here's the thing. What would £326,000 net profit do for you and your family? For most people, that figure is always going to be a dream figure, a figure that they want to achieve, the money they want to make in a year. But for you watching this video right now, I have shine a light, a roadmap to allow you to take step to achieve this amount. Okay, so knowing without doing is the same as not knowing. So this is the roadmap. This is the concept of how you can take your hard-earned £50,000 to make £5 million in 5 single years. I know what you're thinking right now, Rahim, this is too good to be true. How is this gonna work? I'm not saying it is easy to achieve. I'm not saying you're going to achieve it immediately. But here's the thing, if you apply, you put your mind into it, you educate yourself, you have a bigger why, gigantic why, living below your means and ensuring that you're hitting those targets and buying properties that would allow you to recycle all your money so you can go again buy more houses. You might not hit the 5 million, but believe me or not, even if you're at 2.5 million, it's better than not doing it at all and only having that £50,000. You look at it every single month or every single day and not doing anything with it. And here's the thing, there's so many people that are wanting to get into property thinking they need 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. 50,000 is enough to get your property investment going. Okay, that's all you need to start to build a multi-million pound property investment portfolio. Obviously, when investing, you need to look at the cities that you're investing in. You need to look at the rental demand. You need to ensure that your renovation cost is bang on the figures. If anything is less than the amount we have expected here, ensure you got someone to mentor you, guide you along the way to expedite the process whilst reducing the mistakes you make drastically. And here's the thing, if you really want to learn how to implement strategies like this, how to implement the buy, refurbish, refinance, rent, and go again buy more houses, there's a link on the description below. Click on that link to book one of my specialists to see how we may be able to help you implement strategies like this. These are the strategies I implemented to build a multi-million pound property investment portfolio. And I'm very, very frugal when it comes to investment, because I know when I started, I don't have money. I don't have all these tens of thousands of pounds. I had to start from renting properties in order to save enough to start my investment journey. So I know exactly how to implement strategies like this to allow you to recycle all your money out so you can go again and buy more houses. I really hope this video has inspired you to take a leap of faith to start your investment journey. If you like this video or any of my videos, smash the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. I look forward to sharing the next one. Thank you.